Right now, we're going to talk about YouTube expertise in your field. What makes an expert on YouTube? So first, let's think about what kinds of expertises there are. Well, there's an infinite amount, right? There are many kinds of expertise. Someone might be an expert in being a gamer, for instance. Or they might be an expert in beauty. I'm not an expert in beauty. Or maybe they know about finance. Or maybe they know about architecture. But what makes an expert in general? Knowledge. Experience. Experience, right? Because if someone's not experienced, they might have read something in a book, but they didn't really do it. So there's the ability to explain, and someone might know a lot about something, but if they can't explain it to you, then you really will never know that they're an expert because you can't understand what they're saying. They want to share what they've learned, what they know. An expert has to desire to share it with other people that they know or don't know. There has to be a commitment to teaching. They have to be committed to going out there on a regular basis and teaching and showing people things, because if they're not committed, it's not going to happen on a regular basis. So people won't necessarily know about this expert. They have to have the time to do it, because if they've made a commitment to teaching, they said they want to teach, but they just don't have the time, then that commitment doesn't really pan out because there's too many other conflicting things. You have to have the tools to be an expert. On YouTube, this might mean that you have a camera, or that you have lighting, or that you have the ability to edit a video and upload and store a video, which you can on YouTube, but sometimes the editing is hard. And last, you've got to have the right topics, which means if you're an expert, you have to understand who you're trying to help. Are you only trying to help other experts? Then that might be a time to use jargon and insider information and things like that. But if you're trying to educate people who are just starting out, or people who are in the first phase of their exploration and learning about this, then you have to learn what kinds of topics and ways of explaining these topics break it down for the beginner. And you have to be able to stay up to date. Are you continuing to learn what is new, what has changed, what are other people doing? Now, is there anything here that could possibly be skipped over? What could you skip over here? Well, actually, I think unexpectedly, you might be able to skip over actually knowledge and experience, because if you know more than the person you're helping, that's enough. You know, if you were a teacher and you only knew one chapter ahead in the book, that's actually enough to get through the day. It's not the ideal thing. You want to have a lot more vision, but sometimes an enthusiasm for the knowledge and for sharing the knowledge is helpful. And sometimes people who are so expert actually don't have these other things, the commitment to teaching, the time to do it, the tools. They don't understand the topics. They can't break it down, or they just don't want to share. So someone who's new can actually beat or be more helpful than someone who knows more if they can fill in that knowledge and experience with these other things, and by staying up to date and continuing to learn. This happens all the time on YouTube, where someone has an enthusiasm for a topic, and that turns out to be enough because they keep talking about the topic and learn as they go and help others. Let's add enthusiasm. Enthusiasm. And I'm going to add one more. Friendliness. It is really undervalued how important it is to be friendly, because when you're friendly on video, people want to be watching you. It's like being around you. You like being around friendly people. So if you have all of these things, but you're not friendly, it's unlikely you're going to get a ton of views. But how long does it take to become an expert on YouTube? Well, usually it takes time. Sometimes it can happen right away, and by becoming an expert, by making a video, are you already an expert? No, I don't think so. I think you have to get viewers to be considered an expert. And viewers may mean something different depending on what kind of niche you are talking about. So some niches just might be very, very small, and that's totally fine. Or you might be in some sub-niche of something. So your niche isn't the entire topic, it's some sub-niche of that topic. When you start out, you might have 1 or 2 videos and something happens, or you get a few views, or a few friends view it, or you're the only person viewing it again and again, and you don't get a lot of views. But if you keep doing it, what happens is, over time, you see more and more views coming from each of your new videos. Each of these peaks is the release of a new video. And ideally, over time, it builds. Now, this time period, this could be a year. It's unlikely to be a week. You can't do that many videos in a week. But it takes time. On average, it takes months to years. So you can subscribe below. And I'll see you in the next video.